Hello, everybody. How are you all doing today? Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Leah Odada. I'm an International Admissions and Recruitment Officer at Carleton University, and I'm very excited to be partnering with Student World to bring you this presentation on Carleton. I see we have a couple of people who've joined us already. Would love to know where you're watching us from. So feel free to use the chat. Feel free to interact with us. We'd love to make this as engaging as possible. So feel free to let me know which country you're watching us from. I'd love to know where you're catching us from, who we have in the audience. You can also let me know what program you're interested in. All right, we have someone from Turkey. Perfect. I love Turkey. It's one of my favorite countries to visit. Yes, sir. Thank you for sharing. I look forward to coming back and having some of the desserts. They're so amazing. But everyone else, feel free to put in the chat which country you're watching us from. Would love to know. If you know what program you're looking to study, even better. My name is Leah, as I mentioned. I work for Carleton University, and I will be giving a short presentation on Carleton. And then I'm very excited because we are joined by one of our current students, Romina, and she will come on board and she'll be able to share a bit about her experience and answer some of those student questions that you might have as you're looking to study at Carleton, in Canada, or any of that. All right, I see we have someone from Peru. Amazing, we have two people from Peru. Welcome. Hola, buenos tardes. My Spanish is not that great, but I'm very excited to have you all here. Welcome, someone from Mexico. Amazing, welcome. All right, so I will give a brief presentation on Carleton, and then as I mentioned, Romina will answer some questions about the student experience, and then we'll be happy to answer any questions you have, just in case I don't touch on it in the presentation. So we are located in Canada. I would love to know, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about Canada? For people, maybe it's maple syrup. When you think about Canada, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? I'm doing the presentation. My camera is going to go in and out, but hopefully you'll be able to hear me throughout the presentation. But Canada has a lot of amazing things to offer. Canada is really well known for being a very multicultural country. You'll notice it's very diverse. I actually moved to Canada as an international student. I now call Canada home. I've been here for about 12 years. All right, I see some people talk about poutine. Yes, a very unique Canadian delicacy. I love poutine. Anything else? Feel free to put your thoughts. Canada probably gets cold. You've probably heard about our winters. We're really well known for Canadian winters. We're also well known for, what else? Hockey. We're big hockey fans. There are some things that when you think about Canada, Canadians are known to be very friendly, which is actually a really big thing when you're looking at moving to Canada. One of the reasons that you'd want to move to Canada is just because it's a multicultural, very welcoming country, and it's really well known for being just a welcoming environment for people to be able to make that transition. But why would you study in Canada? What is it about studying in Canada that could be an asset for you? Well, Canadian education is internationally recognized. So wherever you go in the world, your degree will be very portable and well recognized. So if you're looking to do your undergrad here or your master's here, and then going to pursue your career somewhere else, that degree is very well recognized. We're all about hands-on learning experiences, so you get to benefit from dynamic learning environments. It's not just about sitting in the classroom. You'll also have opportunities to be able to put into practice everything that you're learning. I apologize. It seems like my camera is going in and out, so I'm just going to turn it off as I do the presentation, and I'll come back on after the presentation. When it comes to programming, I see some of you are interested in engineering. Feel free to put your program. So you're probably interested in many different things. One of the great things about Canada is that it offers flexible programming. So you will have the flexibility to customize your degree to suit the career goals that you have. You can have double majors. You can choose a specific area of concentration. You can add a minor. There are very many ways to customize your degree to suit the career goals that you have. In Canada, you're allowed to work as you're studying. So one of the great things, it is expensive to be able to move to a whole new country to study. But one of the great things about Canada, it does allow you to work as you're studying. Students are allowed to work during the school year for about 24 hours and then a week, 24 hours a week during the week, and then full-time during the holidays. So that gives you an opportunity to make a bit of extra money. But we also have very unique programs like cooperative education. That is an opportunity for you to take time off school, work full-time in the industry that you're studying in, get that full hands-on experience, come back, finish your degree, and graduate. So we really want to prepare students for the fields that they're going into. And those are just some of the things that make Canada a great destination to pursue your studies. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so many reasons why Canada can be a go-to destination and why many students are considering Canada. And in the heart of all of that, we are located in the nation's capital. So we are located in the capital city, Ottawa. Ottawa is Canada's capital. I call it Canada's hidden gem. Not a lot of people know Ottawa exists, but when they do discover Ottawa, they're blown away by what Ottawa has to offer. We are located in the province of Ontario. We are about 4-hour drive from Toronto, 1.5-hour drive from Montreal, and an hour flight from New York. So we are very conveniently located to some of the bigger cities. Ottawa is a city that has a population of about 1 million. It is one of Canada's largest tech hubs. So Ottawa houses one of the largest tech sectors for Canada. So for students who are looking to go into, yes, I saw someone, I didn't know Ottawa was the capital. Honestly, I didn't know Ottawa was the capital until I came to Ottawa. So it's a lot of people recognize more Toronto, Vancouver, but Ottawa is the nation's capital. It houses so many opportunities for students that honestly, that's why I call it the hidden gem. Once you discover Ottawa, you're blown away by what Ottawa has to offer. As I mentioned, so it houses the largest tech hub. So it has a fast-growing tech sector for students who are looking to go into tech or anything related in tech. It's a great destination. It also houses the federal government. So if you're looking to go into things like politics, or maybe you're looking to go into NGOs, non-governmental work, Ottawa is a great destination to pursue this. It houses the federal government. It houses the largest number of embassies and non-governmental organizations. There's many opportunities to get a lot of hands-on experience within the capital city. For a capital city, we're very affordable. It's actually not one of the more expensive cities in Canada. Ottawa is very affordable and friendly on the student budget. It is a city that experiences, well, the whole country experiences 4 different seasons. So we have the winter. It does get a bit cold, but fun fact, we have the canal, which freezes over in the winter, and it becomes the largest ice skating rink in the world, outdoor skating rink in the world. We have the summer. There's so many great things to do. As you can see in this picture, this is Ottawa in the summer. We also have the fall. The leaves change color. They look very beautiful. And then we also have the spring, which is kind of a bit of a rainy season, but you have your beautiful tulips. It's just every season brings with it so many great things to do. Ottawa has a lot of festivals. It has a lot of activities to keep you busy. I know sometimes being a political city, you might get the rap of being a boring city, but I beg to differ. Ottawa is a very interesting city and has a lot of great things to offer. So when it comes to our campus, so we are located about 10 minutes from the downtown core. We are a self-contained campus. As you can see in this picture, our whole entire campus is one area. Everything is all in one area, which is very convenient. It looks like a little island. We're not too far off from the downtown, as I mentioned. We're about 15-minute drives from the airport. We're kind of like really close to the city. Our campus is self-contained. Everything is all in one area, which is really great for getting around. Now, I did mention that it does get cold in Canada. I'm not even going to lie to you. It does get a bit cold. However, our whole entire campus is connected with heated underground tunnels. So even on those cold days, you can still get around without having to go outside and bundle up, especially if you live in residence. As I mentioned, we have the canal. It freezes over in the winter. It does become a skating rink. So you can actually skate outdoors. It's the largest outdoor skating rink in the world. It's a fun activity. It's a big winter activity. You can even stop and have beaver tails. And I know Romina can share about her skating experience when we talk to her about the student experience side. But our campus is just a beautiful campus, very well connected. It also does enhance safety. Ottawa is one of the second largest safe cities in the world, but even just having a self-contained campus does help emphasize that safety element. It also really helps build that community. When it comes to Carleton, so we have over 150 different majors to choose from. Many of our programs, actually all of our programs, have a hands-on work experience component. We are ranked top 10 for employability. What that means is that within 6 months of graduation, majority of our students tend to get hired within their field. And we also rank within the top 5 for comprehensive universities in Canada. That just goes to show you that we have A lot of undergraduate programs, postgraduate programs, PhD programs. There's so much that Carleton has to offer, and it's definitely recognized in the stats. Our student population is about 32,000 students, 15% of whom are international students. So we have students from 150 different countries, as you can see in our student body. Canada in general is very diverse. So you may have students who call two places home. However, we do have a lot of international students, about 4,500 international students currently enrolled at Carleton. It's a diverse campus, a welcoming campus, and it gives you an opportunity to get to meet people from outside, from different parts of the world, people you may not have come into contact with before, learn about different cultures. It's a very diverse and welcoming community. Now, when you're looking to study at Carleton, we want to emphasize that it's more than just a degree. You're not just coming to go to class, go back to your room. It's not just that. We want to make sure you have a well-rounded experience. So we have many opportunities for you to do that. If I have any basketball fans in the room, Carleton has the #1 women's basketball team, and we have had the #1 men's basketball team consecutively for about 12 years. We are kind of a dynasty when it comes to basketball, but we have so many sports. So if you're looking to get involved either actively, like through varsity sports, or maybe just playing sports for fun, there are many ways to be able to do that. If you're looking to get involved with clubs and societies, let's say you have an interest in a different group. Let's say you're interested in debate or raising money for different causes. There are many ways for you to get involved. If you're just looking to hang out with people from the same cultural background, there are many clubs for that. If you're looking to kind of expand your horizon, maybe do an exchange. Coming to Canada is great, but maybe you want to experience other countries too. You can do an exchange opportunity for many of our programs. We really want to make sure you graduate with that hands-on experience. So there are many ways that we emphasize it through hands-on work experience, both in the classroom and outside the classroom. We want to make sure you're supported every step of the way. Choosing to move to a new country is a big undertaking. So we want to make sure you have 24/7 support, 24/7 access to be able to make that transition easier. And there are many things that are happening in the world, and we want to make sure that we're at the forefront of solving some of the world's issues. So when it comes to different things like maybe climate change, we are looking to reduce our waste. So there are many sustainability initiatives that we are undertaking as well. Your degree is going to be a comprehensive experience, both inside the classroom and outside the classroom. Now, I did ask if you know what program you're interested in. I did see software engineering. Okay. Let's see. I did see a master in digital media. Okay. So we offer quite a wide range of different programs. So we have 22 undergraduate degree programs. I know there is some master's interest, and I'll happily share some resources about the master's program. I see computer science. Yes, computer science is one of our more popular programs. There are many different areas for you to choose from. So for example, within computer science, we have about 8 different majors for you to choose from. So you can choose an AI, business connections, or you can choose something within software engineering, or maybe something within security. There are many different areas for you to choose from. All of our programs have a number of different majors for you to choose. So if you're interested in engineering, we have 13 areas of engineering that you can major in. If you're interested in arts, we have about 30 different majors in arts that you can major in. And I'll put some links at the end so you can take a look. We want to make sure you're flexible with your programming. So we want to be able to allow you to customize your degree to suit the career goals that you have. So if you want to do a double major, let's say you want to combine computer science with business, yes, sir, you can definitely do that. If you want to combine engineering with business, there's opportunities to do that. If you want to do a double major, many of our programs within the arts and the sciences allow for that. But you can choose an area of specialization. You can choose to focus on a specific area. There are many ways that you can customize your degree to suit the career goals that you want. And that includes experiential learning. Now, I mentioned co-op earlier, but co-op is very unique to Canada. So co-op is our paid work experience. Not to be confused with the fact that you can work. You are allowed to work in Canada as you're studying, but normally that's just student jobs, maybe part-time work. Co-op is specifically focused on the program that you are pursuing. Now, let's say you're in engineering. You will be able to take a year off school to work in the field of engineering. get that hands-on work experience. It's paid work experience. Come back, finish your degree, and graduate. Now, co-op is not mandatory, but we do strongly encourage students to pursue co-op. What we see is a lot of students who do co-op tend to get hired by the companies where they did their co-op, or having that experience by the time they graduate really enhances their opportunities to be able to apply for work in the field. So co-op is something we strongly recommend. It's not mandatory, but we do encourage it. Now, if a program doesn't have co-op, it will have some other form of work experience. So it might have something like a practicum, it may have something like field work, or maybe an internship. There are many ways for you to build that hands-on work experience. Work experience is kind of one of the reasons why we are in the top 10 for employability, because we really want to prepare you for the field you're going into. Yeah, so there are many ways that you can add a minor in some of the different things that might not seem like they go together, but they can. Maybe music. Whenever you're going to a program that's challenging, to be able to add a minor, you do need to have a really high grade point average. Now, you got to see our beautiful campus. So if you are a student who's applying to Carleton directly from high school, we have something called guaranteed on-campus accommodation. As I mentioned with our campus, everything is all in one area, which is very convenient. You can walk right from your room to your classroom in flip-flops, even if it's cold outside. Our campus comes with an all-inclusive meal plan, so you'll have access to the cafeteria, and I can't wait for Romina to share her experience about living in residence, but it's very convenient. It's a great community. It's a great way to make that transition a bit easier, moving to a new country. Residence is guaranteed for high school applicants. We also have an option to apply. If you've already gone to college, you can still apply to residence. And we do have residence for our graduate students as well. I see we have a question. How would you schedule co-op and studying? So if you're doing co-op, you're not going to classes. So typically in the summer of your second year, you'll be taking time off classes and you'll be working full-time in the industry. So let's say instead of coming to class for that semester, you're going to just work. And then maybe the next semester you come back to class or you continue working. You need to have at least either 3 co-op terms or 3 work terms or 4 work terms, depending on your program. So when you're doing co-op, you're not doing classes. But then you're still going to come back and finish your classes. So co-op may add an extra year to your program. But some work experience, like for example, internships or practicums, you will be doing them at the same time as your studies. So you'll need to learn how to balance work and school. And that's a great question to ask our student, Ambassador Romina. How is she balancing work and school? Is it possible? How do you do it? All right, so on-campus residence, that is offered to you. Now, there are a lot of different requirements when it comes to studying at Carleton. So what do you need to have in order to be eligible? We have a great tool on our website. This tool allows you to be able to customize your degree requirement, like your program, your curriculum, and get the requirements for the specific degree you want. We do have a very straightforward application process for most of our programs. We typically look for your academic transcript, a language proficiency test, and for some programs, we may add additional requirements. What we will look for in terms of subjects is very specific for certain programs. So if you're looking to go into engineering or computer science, there are certain subjects you need to have in your grade 12 to be eligible for those programs. Now, this tool on our website allows you to be able to get that information. A lot of you are doing different curriculums, so you can enter your specific curriculum. If you don't see a curriculum, you can select other, and I'll just tell you a general requirement. In general, we're looking for 12 years of study. We've mostly focused on your grade 12, and that will be what we use, as well as your language proficiency test. So we do have a language proficiency requirement. You can either demonstrate that you have full 3 years of study in a fully English curriculum in an English-speaking country, or you can provide us with a language test. And we accept quite a number of different tests. When it comes to how much it costs, so we do have a varying tuition requirement based on the program that you're going into. So if you're looking to go into maybe the arts, the social sciences, or maybe some of the more social programs, tuition cost is about 31,000 Canadian dollars. Actually, this is the cost for this year. It might be around 33,000 by the time you're applying for next year. That is around 22,000 USD. This tuition cost covers your tuition, your health insurance, your bus pass, any auxiliary fees for your program. So it does cover quite a bit in it. And then when it comes to housing and accommodation, that is separate. That is around 12,400 for the full year. That includes an all-inclusive meal plan, all utilities and amenities, as well as any resources you need on campus. When you're going to engineering, or maybe some of the programs that have a bit more of a skill component, like they require a lot of material or they require a lot of resources, the tuition cost is a bit higher. So you'll notice engineering or computer science, architecture, those programs are a bit on the higher side. However, it does include a lot. So like a lot of the resources and equipment that you'll be using, a lot of the services and amenities, that is included in your tuition. I do recognize that it is a big number, but there are many ways that we want to help you with that investment. So we do offer scholarships. So if you're applying directly from high school, we have guaranteed scholarships. The scholarships are given to you automatically. You do not need an application. Now, if you're a very well-rounded student who's doing really well academically, and you also have a lot of extracurricular activities, we do have some high-value scholarships. These scholarships offer a bit more in value, but they're not guaranteed. You do have to submit an application and a reference letter, and you do have to be selected to get the scholarship. I was very excited to see that we had a student from Ecuador receive the scholarship this year, and hopefully we do have last year we had about 4 international students receive it, so we hope to see a bit more numbers there. But the scholarship does cover a bit more in value. Now, that's just the tip of the iceberg for what Carleton has to offer. I am very excited to invite Romina on so that we can hear from the student experience. She'll be able to let you know how she found her experience at Carleton and tell you a little bit about some of the things to consider when you're looking at studying abroad.
Okay.
Hi, Romina.
Hello, Leah. Hi, everyone. My name is Romina Conde. Last month, I finished my 3rd year in the Bachelor of Arts and Honors in the program of Film Studies. The countries I call home are Mexico. I'm originally from Mexico, and I'm also Canadian, so I have dual citizenship. So yeah.
Amazing, awesome. And did you mention what program you study?
Film Studies.
Awesome. All right, so Romina is going into her 4th year. Romina, when you were looking at university, so a lot of students are now looking at that option. What were the things that you took into consideration?
That's a good question. The first thing I saw was the guaranteed first year residence offer, because I didn't have any one of my family members. I didn't know anyone in Ottawa. So I was like, okay, that's good. Now I know where I'm going to live, right? And then the other thing that I took into consideration was the scholarship that they offered me. And I would say those were the main things, and obviously the program that I wanted to study, which is Film Studies in Carleton.
Okay, that is, you're right, absolutely right. It's a huge transition moving to a whole new country. So having that guaranteed accommodation really does provide you with at least more reassurances when you're moving to a new country. So when you were looking at your program, like based on your high school experience, do you feel like what you wanted to do in high school is actually what you're doing right now?
I would say so. Yeah. It's because, for example, in my program in Film Studies in Carleton, well, in Spanish, it's called cinematografía, right? But in Carleton, Film Studies is more theory rather than practice, I would say. And that's what I wanted. So yeah, I'm studying what I wanted, so I'm happy with it.
Okay, the practical aspect, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing to say is, like, how was your experience coming to Carleton for the first time, seeing like your housing residence, your classes? How was that? Like, do you feel like, how was your experience? I mean, I'll say what I think. How was your experience?
Honestly, it was awesome. I thought it was going to be harder than it was. It was a really smooth transition. For example, I thought that I was really nervous. I was really scared because um, obviously it was my first time moving to another country by myself, and also my English wasn't like wow, it wasn't the best. But I adapted quickly, and Carlton offered me a lot of
Yeah.
resources. There's a lot of resources, and I think a place like Ottawa, it's like the perfect city for someone that is just like starting to be independent. Let's say because Ottawa is the capital, but it's also not that big. Like you learn to adapt yourself. So it was really good. It was really nice.
Yeah. That's a good point, actually. So a lot of students probably know a lot of the bigger cities like Toronto, Montreal. And one thing I will say is that coming as an international student myself, I did find Ottawa made that transition a bit easier. While it has the advantages of a big city, it wasn't overwhelming like some of the other cities that could be. But then after you graduate, you can potentially go to those cities or you can actually visit those cities. Have you visited Montreal, Toronto while you were a student here?
Oh yeah. Actually, I've only been to Montreal once. Me and my friends went
Yeah.
there to celebrate my birthday, so it was really nice.
Oh,
And
nice.
I've been to Toronto a couple of times because my grandparents live there, so I go visit them sometimes. So, yeah.
Okay, nice, nice. And just speaking about the experience of living here, I know that we have 4 different seasons. How was your experience with the winter? I know a lot of people are worried about the winter. What would you advise them?
What would I say? Well, since I come from Mexico City, all my wardrobe was full of t-shirts and hoodies. So the first thing you should do once you move to Canada or to Ottawa is just to buy a winter jacket. Obviously, like in places like Mexico, my country, you're not gonna find a good winter jacket. So just go and buy a winter jacket. You'll thank me later. You'll see why. Yeah.
That is a good point. A lot of students think, "Can I bring my jacket?" No, please buy your jacket and your winter gear here because it is built for the weather here.
Yes.
But you mentioned skating on the canal. I know we talked about this before.
Hmm.
The winter is not all scary. So how was the experience skating on the canal and some of the fun things you've done in the winter?
Oh, I really enjoy winter. Obviously, in Ottawa we have it for a long time, but there's benefits to it. Like for example, all the activities that you do. Usually in Carleton, I go skating. They have like I'm I don't remember exactly the name, but like you can just go to the ice house
Oh,
and
yes,
skate.
yeah,
Well, you
yeah,
need to register yourself, right? But you just go and skate, and there's more people there. Or you can skate in the canal and go downtown in 15 minutes or 20 minutes of skating. Like, it, I would have never thought that I would do that in my life, like skate in a canal. And I've done it. So,
yeah. It's a fun experience. Yes, the canal, honestly, having that proximity to like just outside of our campus is absolutely amazing because you can bike, you can run, you can skate. There's so many things you can do in the different seasons.
oh, definitely. I would say that the canal is maybe, yeah, it's one of the best things about Carleton because you just cross and there it is. And then you can just walk uh, all the canal and you're in Little Italy, right? Like you
Yeah.
can do so many things. It's really convenient. It's really nice.
And so when you're looking at like you were working as a student and you're also handling a full courseload and doing really well academically, how has it been managing your studies as well as working?
I'm gonna be honest, it's hard. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's hard. But here's the thing. I feel like if you organize yourself, like if you organize your time perfectly and you're
Yeah,
responsible, you can do everything. Like obviously life, you need a balance, right?
yeah,
You need to fulfill all your responsibilities as a student, um, work. Also, you need to have social life because
yeah.
obviously, I mean, you're like it's just a balance in your life, but it's possible if you organize yourself well and you're responsible with it. Everything is possible.
It's about having that self-awareness of how much you can handle, being organized. That's absolutely right.
Oh, exactly.
Um, so we I want to open the floor to any students who may have a specific student question for Romina. Feel free to ask her if you have a question about her experience or something that you're worried about, like maybe you're not sure how you'll make friends. Feel free to put it in the chat. Romina and I would be happy to answer any questions. I see some people are typing. I do see Esther has a question. Yeah. So someone is asking about applying for a loan in order to be able to transfer. And Esther, that's a very good question. So when it comes to loans, being an international student, typically it has been hard to get a loan here in Canada, just because when there's just some requirements that you need to fulfill, but you may not have already established. I know there are some banks that are looking to find ways to loan students money. I recommend doing your research. So there's something called Empower. It is an online bank that does offer loans to international students. Now, I put a caveat of please do your research. Please make sure you know the terms and conditions and are very clear before you sign up for anything, just because it is a huge commitment you will be making. So when you're looking at funding opportunities, so you are allowed to work while you're studying in Canada, but when you're looking at funding, explore what options are available in your country, and then explore what scholarships are available. I know as a transfer student, it's typically harder to get a scholarship as a transfer student, but there might be some options. Another option is you can finish your undergrad degree in Turkey and then apply for a graduate program in Canada. You'll have a bit more funding options when you do that. So that would be my recommendation, just because you will have a bit more options and it wouldn't necessarily put you in a situation where you have to owe some institution a lot of money. But you can definitely do your research. I recommend looking at Edu Canada, and I'll put a link in the chat. But Edu Canada is a great resource for students who are looking to study in Canada. All right. So as they're typing, Romina, what advice do you have? Like, do you have any advice to students who are coming here, like maybe getting involved or something like that, that will make their experience a better experience?
Yeah. Well, personally, one thing that I regret not doing like more in these 3 years that I've been in Carleton is that I didn't take advantage of everything that Carleton offers. And what do I mean by this? I'm going to give an example. In the 3 years that I've been there, I've only been to the pool once. It's a wonderful pool. Like, Carleton has so many things to offer that you can just go there. There's so many clubs as well. Like, there's a Glee club, there's Socks and Bussin'. Like, you can just, like, there's so many things that you can do that you should obviously, if you have time, if you want, you can. Like, you can do everything you want. So yeah, that's my advice. And another thing that I would like to say is that, how can I explain this? I know it's hard to move to another country. I know it firsthand experience, but like, everything turns out fine at the end. Like, it's okay to be scared, it's okay to be nervous, but everything works out at the end. So don't worry, guys. You got this.
That's solid advice. And even if they do experience challenges, like those challenges, I'm sure you experienced some challenges moving here and like starting out like pretty much afresh and building your life here. And like there are gonna be challenges that come with it, but those challenges teach you a lot. I definitely learned a lot of challenges from my first year to now that have definitely made a huge impact. I can't believe I haven't asked you this, but you lived on campus, and for students who are looking to consider that option, what are some of the advantages of living on campus that you experienced? And maybe there were some drawbacks. Were there any drawbacks of living on campus?
Yeah, so I've been living on campus the 3 years. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people just live in residence for the first year, and then they move off residence with their friends. No, but for me, for example, residence, it's extremely, extremely convenient for me, and I always say it. Like, everyone knows that I say that. For example, what's it called? Here's the building of my classes. This is the building where I work at, and this is the cafeteria. Literally a triangle. And this is like the building that I live in. Like, it's so convenient for me. Like, I don't need to wake up at 6 in the morning to go to my 8:30 classes. I just walk there 5 minutes away. I know, I love it. And also, all my friends are there. Like, all my friends are there. They're basically my neighbors, and I live with them. So I see them every day. I don't need to
That is a
cook.
good point.
Yeah, like, it's perfect for me, honestly.
Honestly, I lived in residence all 4 years, so I completely understand and like support your decision. A lot of international students actually do live on campus. It's very convenient. It's good to have that whole really guaranteed accommodation, not having to worry about your meals if you want to go to the cafeteria, but you might get a kitchen as well, so you can cook in the kitchen if you do. But it's definitely very convenient, and you appreciate it in the winter when it's like negative 40 degrees and the snow is tall as you, and you don't want to go outside.
Exactly.
It
And
has its
also, we have the
advantages.
tunnels. So
Yes.
the tunnels help a lot.
And we are one of the only universities in Canada to have the whole entire campus connected with heated underground tunnels. So you can go anywhere in flip-flops and a t-shirt, even though it's very cold outside. All right, so I see we have a couple more questions. So yes, we do offer mechanical and electrical engineering. I put a link to our programs. We do have over 13 majors in engineering for you to choose from. So you will definitely have a lot of different options. You can take a look, Angie. Our requirements require math, physics, and chemistry at the senior level. And pre-med, that's a good question. So when it comes to Canada, it works a bit differently from maybe other countries. We're very similar to the US. So when it comes to medicine, you can only do it at the postgraduate level. So you do have to do your undergrad first before applying to medical school. And we do recommend pre-med programs. So within our health sciences and our Bachelor of Science, we have quite a number of pre-med programs. All of these programs satisfy the pre-med requirements, and they give you a good science foundation. So yes, you can definitely look at our pre-med programs. Many schools in Canada do offer pre-med programs, and then we have some med schools. Just so you know, as an international student, it might be a bit hard to get into med school as an international student. One of the reasons is that Canada definitely wants to train doctors who want to stay in Canada. So it might be a bit of a journey for you to be able to get into med school coming from a different country. You might need to get maybe your permanent residency first before applying to medical school. To be honest, I don't know what medical schools in Canada accept international students. They may be one or two, but they will be very competitive to get into. But it is still an option. I just want to prepare you for a bit of a journey to get there. Let's see, next question. Yes, so for anyone interested in graduate studies, so we are in the undergraduate department. So we work for the undergraduate department, but we do offer graduate programs, and we do have great resources within our graduate department. So I'll put a link in the chat. Our graduate program allows you to be able to create a customized viewbook so that you can get information that specifically applies to you. So if there's any graduate programs that you're interested in, hopefully the link works. You can put it in the view book, and then it will let you know exactly requirements for the program, options in terms of housing and accommodation, work experience opportunities, funding, that kind of thing. So I've put a link in the chat that has our graduate link, and then you can reach out to the department for the specific program you're interested in, and they'll be able to either arrange a meeting. Some of them offer one-on-one meetings like the business program, or they may be able to set something up to be able to provide more information. Unfortunately, I do work for the undergraduate side of things, so my familiarity with business, the graduate side, is a bit limited. All right, let's see. If you're looking to transfer credits, so for students who are looking to transfer credits, we do accept transfer credits. Transfer credits are handled on a case-by-case basis. So when it comes to applying to Carleton, you'll submit your application as any other student. We'll assess your post-secondary transcripts, and then we'll give you an offer if you're eligible. Once we give you an offer and you accept it, we will then ask you for the full course outline, so the course syllabus, or whatever outline you were given in your first week of school for that class, detailing exactly what is covered in the course. Once we have that information, we will then assess your courses and see if they're eligible for transfer credit. So normally what factors are taken into consideration are your grades, the relevance of the course to the program you're applying to, and those are the two main factors. So if your course is relevant to the program you're applying to, if your course has a good grade, you're very likely to get the transfer credit. And I will post a link to our transfer credit questions so you can take a look. Transfer credits are handled on a case-by-case basis. I cannot tell you in advance what transfer credits you'll get. We can only tell you after the department assesses them, and they'll only assess them after you accept your offer. So that is kind of like you have to go through the process to be able to get the information. So I'll put a link with our transfer credit information, so take a look. If you have any questions, our email is also on that link, so you can send us an email and we'll be happy to help. All right, hopefully that information helps. I don't see any more questions. I will put some resources here. So we do have a view book. So our view book covers a lot of the information. Actually, before I even said that, we have this QR code, if you can see on my screen. This is an opportunity for you to chat with Romina or any of our other student ambassadors. They will be able to chat with you on our UniBuddy platform and answer any questions you might have about the student experience or maybe the experience in certain programs. If you're interested in computer science, we have ambassadors who are in the programs as well. They'll be happy to talk more on the platform. And they also create a lot of great content. So a lot of students document some of the great experiences they have at Carleton. You can read more about those experiences and kind of see what your life as a student at Carleton could be like. Let's see. If I was to summarize Carleton, if there's anything that you can just take from this presentation is that when it comes to studying at Carleton, we want to make sure when you graduate, you actually get a job in the field that you're studying in. We want to really push that hands-on work experience. We have a lot of great programs for you to choose from. Our city plays a huge role in enhancing your educational experience, having that close proximity to the tech sector, the federal government, a lot of the NGOs. It really does help enhance your degree. And we are one of the only universities in Canada to be fully connected with heated underground tunnels. And we offer unlimited food. So in the cafeteria, you have an all-access meal plan. You can go to the cafeteria anytime it's open. That is pretty much a nutshell and a summary of what Carleton has to offer. And you can read a bit more about it with our view book. So feel free to scan this QR code, download our view book. This is an undergraduate view book, but it does have a lot of the same information in regards to resources and support services. I know Romina mentioned she hasn't been to the pool as often, but Carleton has a lot of amenities, like a full gym that you can use as a student. It's included in your tuition. We have an Olympic-sized pool that you can use. You can read more about all of that in this view book. I see a new question. When does the fall semester start? The fall semester will start in September. So our academic year starts in the fall and it starts in September. So we'll go from September to April for fall and winter. And then we also have summer classes within May to August. Now, everything I've said is just a nutshell and a tip of the iceberg for what Carleton has to offer. I know you probably have a couple more questions. There are many ways that you can get in touch with us. You can book a one-on-one appointment with me or anyone on my team. You can talk to our students. You've heard a lot about what Romina had to share about her experience. You can continue the conversation on the UniBuddy platform, or you can kind of get a guided virtual tour of our beautiful campus. You can talk to us in chat. We have so many ways for you to get in touch with us. We want to make sure that you have all your questions answered. Actually, that is my last slide. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for just spending the next 45 minutes with me and Romina and just hearing about Carleton and hearing what we have to offer. I will put my email in the chat. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're always happy to help. Feel free to be in contact. And if you're looking at Carleton for this year or next year, we can show you the process of applying, show you the process of getting that started. And if you're looking at Canada in general, we're happy to talk about what studying in Canada is like. I came as an international student. Romina has an international student experience. So we're always happy to share about what that looks like. But thank you so much for your time, and I'm very excited, and I wish you all the best with your journey wherever it takes you. And thank you so much for staying with us. Bye, everybody.